Hello everyone and welcome to So Many Games All the Time. My name is Joachim and today we're going to talk about Euthia again. Because I've talked about it before, well, I made several videos before, 4 solo playthroughs, 2 unboxings and a music video, all of that. But I've never made a video about why I like it. I think eventually this video would pop up somewhere else. But because of the Kickstarter, and I've talked about it many times on Facebook already, it would just be easier to link a video instead of always having to do my same story all over again. So basically I'm going to talk about why I like it and also the parts that I don't like, because it's not just all a good news story. There's some things that I'm not fond of, right? So I'll try to be as honest as possible, and you can say, but whoa, what is going on here? What is this mess in front of you? And it is a mess. I agree. I had 2 choices. I set up the game nice and beautiful and then explain different parts, which would be probably the better choice. But you know, so many games, so little time, and also so late, so little sleep. So I decided to just take everything out of the box, put it here, and talk about all the stuff separately. What I like about certain components and what I don't like about certain components in general. Or no, not in general, specifically. First, I'll talk about it in general first, okay? Before I talk about anything individually. What do I like about the game in general, like broad strokes? I like the fact that it's an open world game, right? I like the fact that you can customize your characters a lot through loot, through skills. I like the fact that it's has a very original battle system, especially in multiplayer, where you're actually trying to defeat other people even when you're controlling a monster. It gives you benefits, right? I like the fact that it's pretty. The miniatures are really nice. Its production is really good. I like the way they handle quests as well. It's original. It has a nice amount of variability, if you ask me. And what else do I like? I like the fact you have to think as well. Not as much as Mage Knight, okay, but you do have to think and plan out your turns, and sometimes save a little bit of your turn for next turn so you can do more stuff. I like the variety of scenarios as well. What else is some stuff that I don't like? I don't like some parts of the solo mechanic, as in I find the enemies get the cards, the silver and gold cards. They get them a bit too easily, which can make certain enemies very difficult to fight against. And connected to that, if in the solo and in the multiplayer as well, if you fight a monster and you lose, it goes back to the top of the deck. So that monster will stay there. So if you fight again, doesn't matter where on the map, it's gonna be that same monster again that you're fighting. Now you could say it's an advantage because you know what's gonna happen, but on the other hand, if you're early level and that monster is blocking you and you feel like, okay, with my current setup I can't kill it, then it becomes difficult to, like, one monster killed me twice in a row before I finally killed it the 3rd time, but then I'm already having negative points because I died twice and so on, and of course you're losing time to do the main mission and so on. So I don't like that necessarily. Okay, you can fix it by saying, okay, house rule goes to the bottom or whatever, and you can then explain, like, okay, you fought the monster but it ran off, whatever, I don't know. You can always deal with that, I know, but purely according to the rules, it's top deck, which wasn't always a fun thing. You could say you could look at it as time for revenge. I see that. Anyway, that is the game in general. What I like and what I'm not so fond of, the main points. But now I'll talk about the different components and what I specifically like and don't like. I'll start with what is right here in front of me, which is the rulebook. It is quite meaty. It has like has 35 pages. Of course, part of it is the index, and talks a little bit, for example, here about how Skull Dude works. But most of it's rules, and it took me a while to get hold of the rules, a handle on them. If you watch my solo videos, I have the first try, second try, and the third try before I finally got everything correct. Of course, it could also just be me, right? That I was too eager to jump in because it is a really nice game, and I was so eager, it looked cool, I wanted to start immediately, so I made mistakes. I think it does a good job of explaining stuff, and of course by now there's an errata with the Kickstarter that just happened now. I'm sure they ironed that out even more. But yeah, I think in general I was fine with the rulebook. Of course, you're going to use it hand in hand with the appendix. To look up certain things. For example, what I looked up the most was some of the icons, like the triangle, square, pentagon, had to do with the armor. Some other stuff like first strike weapon took a while. Also these wolf heads that you need to know for the battle, what happens before, during, and after certain phases. What else did I look up a lot? The quests, because the quests give you more information about what you're supposed to do, gives you a little bit more detail, makes it clearer. You can see the different chapters here, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Also the earth, water, fire, and air elementals. I would also check that several times to make sure I get everything correct. And then also the essences, where can I get certain goods. The other stuff, I didn't need to check all this that often, because you have all the skills of the heroes, but then you also have them on the separate pages that I'll talk about soon. So in order, I mean, I use this quite a lot in the first couple of games, but then after a while you get a handle on it, especially if you play a longer scenario. By the end of the scenario, you'll definitely get it. Okay, so I don't think this is much of a problem, but you probably will keep them with you for a while. And maybe on BGG there's already some summaries that make it easier, so you don't always have to go through them. Alright, next is scenario book and the elemental scenarios. Now I'm going to be honest, I haven't played any of the elemental scenarios yet, which makes me happy. Why? That means that there's a lot of scenarios to go through before you even reach these. There's 3 of them here: Collision, Elemental Revocation, and Into the Abyss. They come with their own tokens and so on that we'll talk about later as well. In the scenario book, I've tried a bunch. I've played the Banishing of Brasath, but there's no video of that. I played, what else do we have here? The Threat of Mirizil. I didn't play that one. That's with the dragon. Defending the Settlements. Haven't tried that one either. That's with Foruga, another dragon. I have played Walking Destruction. I have played Fair Invocation, and it's not a typo. Okay, Fair is the magic. I've played the Lord's Request as well, and Imminent Threat and the Hunt. So I've played most of them already, and I think in general, what myself and my friends felt like is the shorter scenarios is just to get a handle on how to play, but it didn't feel very rewarding because you need more time to really pimp your character, and with that I mean really like get loot and get stronger, get more skills, stuff like that. For that you want to play the longer scenarios, because otherwise, like for example the Lord's Request even, or Imminent Threat and the Hunt, they say 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. Those you'll have like a little bit of your character covered, and you have quests maybe up to level 20, but by no means you're going to reach the capabilities of your hero. So you really want to go for these long scenarios, 100 minutes, 120 minutes. It sounds long, but it is so worth it, especially solo. It's quite easy to do. With more people, it's going to take more time, but once again, then you'll really be able to fleshing out your character, and it will be much more worth it. Okay, then we have the achievement sheets. I haven't done too much with this yet. I think this is the original one. Did I tag anything actually? I think I might have tagged one thing. No, nothing. Some of them will say not for solo. I did tag one here. Solitaire. Finish a scenario playing a solo game. Wow, okay, it's the only one I did. I haven't really been focusing on this, but this also potentially gives you a lot of replayability, because you can say, okay, this time I'm gonna go for Rookie, have an armor set of 5 parts of leather armor, and then you're gonna go for leather armor while also trying to do the scenario, things like that, or combine multiple achievements together. I can see how these can be cool challenges. I like it. I like the fact that they introduced this. You have a lot of different ones varying in difficulty. Win a 2-player game, 3-player game, 4-player game, have 100 or more gold, have 140 gold, stuff like that. On this side you have Immortal 28 plus, have your maximum health 28 or more, which of course is also quite a challenge. Braggart, defeat level 1 monsters with 1 attack. So first strike or during a hero attack phase. So just, you know, they don't even have the chance to hit you. Boom, stuff like that. Shiny hand, have 5 gold cards in hand, also takes a while. So there's other stuff here to do, which I like that they included that. It increases the length of the lifespan of the game a little bit, I feel. And then here we have the skill pages, I guess you could say for the heroes. Tesiri, have here Dral, Isle, and then the other 2 Meldur, the 3 Meldur, Kelea, and Skoldur. So it just very simply, it shows you the skills that there are, so you know what's coming. You can even during the game decide, should I go to a tavern or whatever it's called to unlock my quest now, my skills now, or maybe I'll wait a bit so I can unlock Ice Arrow as well, and then I'll go. So it's really handy. Of course it is also a little bit unwieldy because it's so big, so you might want to have some space next to you. It doesn't bother me because once again I play mostly solo. Multiplayer depends on how many people, so it's a bit big, but I'm sure on BGG there's already some kind of nice summary that, you know, really limits the space that it takes, and if not, someone should make it, not me though. All right, so yeah, I like it. I think this is also a good time to speak about how different the characters play, and they do play very differently because all of them have like specific skills. Of course the series is going to be mostly magic, but even then they have specific skills that allow you to go different ways. For example, if you unlock level 2, you have Dark Bond and Ice Whip. Okay, Ice Whip is an attack, but Dark Bond mostly focuses on what the monster does. Okay, but if you have level 4 with a Book of Power, that means those are effects that happen after you defeat the monster. You stack them up, and then you can use the tokens later on, while Ice Arrow is just pure battle. So you want to make a battle mage, or you want to make a mage who can control stuff more. If you want to control stuff, you take Dark Bond, you take Book of Power. For example, level 6 is Serene Walk, which means you can just move 2 spots. But then Slumber means that you can have more essences or more power during magic. Which one are you going to choose? Maybe certain scenarios will lean more towards one, the next. And there's so many of them. I like this a lot because it is similar to Mage Knight. You draw 2 skills, you choose one. Of course, then the remainder go to the pool, which is also cool, and it rhymes. But another game that does it is The Witcher. Whenever you rest there and you want to do a skill, you draw 2, you keep 1. And I think it's similar here, even though you can unlock all of them in one go up until the level that you are. So for example, if you're level 8 and you go to a tavern and you unlock your skills, you'll unlock from 2 to 8 or 9 in this case, all of it at once, and then you can buy what you choose and so on. So yeah, but they all play very differently. For example, Dral is not only melee, but also he is good at mining, carrying items and so on. Also, most of them also have something to do with the with dealing with trade, for example, extortion. Ale has done, of course, is a lot of healing. Then Meldur is pure power, but also transportation because he can use portals and so on. So yeah, Skoldur is then once again hammer, mining as well, a mine lord here, tunnels. Yeah, and then Kelea is stealth, stealing, and of course also with her hunting bow, throwing knives, spears, so and quarterstaff, so it's more like ranged. So they all do play very differently. So those are the skills, those are the different characters. Now I'm gonna stick with the characters for a second while I put these books in a safer place instead of on the edge. And that is their boards. So the boards are here, and you might know, you might not know, but the boards are all different. For example, since we have 3, 3, right? Put it like this. For example, look at ale. The only thing that's the same is the fact that these 4 are also these 4. And also this, and this is the same, but not for Skoldur. For Skoldur, that's not the same. But just look at here, the way they equip themselves. So for her, if she wants to wear a helmet, first she has to pay 1 gold, because in her class, helmets are not that common. With Mildur, it is the whole thing. Helmet, breastplate, and the greaves, they call it. Those 3, you also have to pay for it, so it becomes more difficult for him to wear. But she only starts with 4 health, so automatically, I guess, they think it's easier for you. They make it easier for you to buy armor because you really need it with 4 health. While for Mildur, he starts with 6, makes it a bit more difficult. Also, to unlock the essences or those spots, 4, 6, 7. Here's 5 and 7, and there's no 4th spot here. 5, 4, and 6. Okay, so she actually has an extra spot here, while he just has the 4 elements, and then 2. She has 1 extra. What are some other people? Well, for example, with Taysiri and Kelea. Once again, Taysiri has an extra spot. Kelea does not, because Taysiri and Ale are, well, you could say more magic users, but then Mildur is also a magic user, so whatever. So the health, 5 and 6. You can see here 1 and 2, 1. Those are the biggest differences between them. And then we have Dral and Skoldur. And you can see Skoldur here, he has these different tokens, the Dwart tokens, that are a bit different from other ones. Am I saying that wrong now? Is it Dwart? It is Dwart, right? Let me just quickly check that. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, Dwart tokens. Yeah, I'm right. Okay, so the rest is the same, except here you get 4, 6, 7, 3, 5, 6, 4, 5, 2, and 1, and 1, 1, 1, 1. So for him, it's really expensive to wear stuff in general. But of course, here, the Dwart tokens. So that in itself, all is 7 health. Is also very different between all the characters, which I like because variation is key. Alright, then we have the coins. Now with the coins there was some controversy because some people said they didn't like the coins because they had smudges on them because of the wash, and they wanted them replaced, and they will be replaced. But I never thought that was a problem. So mine are, some of them are a bit smudged, but I like it because for me it looks as if they're used, they got used. So they sound really nice. The weight is nice as well. You can see, for example, I think this one's a dark one, isn't it? Yeah, see, this one has like a smudge on the side. I don't know how well you can see it, but I really don't mind because I really feel like it's been used more. It's more authentic to me. So I don't know what the second printing will have. It'll be nice and clean. But yeah, there's a lot of coins in here. Well, sorry for the sound. We've never run out, but then again, I've only played 2-player and solo. So let me put this away. So those are the coins. A big fan. Really nice coins. Nothing against the coins. Then we have the dice. Now, for the original version, there were some people who were disappointed in the dice. Well, in one die. I was one of them. And that is the Dwart die. So let's come down for a second. This is the Dwart die because the Dwart die has stickers on them. So it wasn't printed. But with the second edition, it will be printed. And for returning backers, you can get a printed die. So that will be replaced. Aside from that, I chose the legendary dice, Kickstarter stuff. So they all look very nice, especially this, what's it called again? Shii's Intervention die looks very, very nice. Very chunky, like to roll all of them. Some of them make me think of countries like this is so Greece. This is Ireland, whatever. But yeah, I like it. You know, once again, positive. These dice, nothing against them, like them a lot. One thing you can maybe argue is that the two blue ones, if you were to use them together, they're a bit similar, but it's just a minor quibble. Alright, so those are the dice. So I'm slowly just putting everything on the side to make space. Another thing that I like is this. These are the token trays for all the heroes. You can see all the heroes have, you can see they're different because of the shields. For example, this is Mildur, this is Kilea, this is Skoldur, this is Ale, this is Dral, and no, this is Ale, this is Dral, and this is Taysiri. But aside from that, they're actually the same, right? Everything else is the same. Of course, the color is different, but the shields, you see who you're supposed to play with, and those are also your colors. But the fact that it's all nicely together, you just take out the top, put it next to your board, and use it for the rest of the game, is nice. No problems there. Was a bit afraid that when you take it off, you have to make sure that the lines here are clear, because this will push on it, but that was okay. It's for the people who have role player adventures, and they might know how annoying something like this can be, because they really messed it up with the cards. It's always a juggle trick to try to close that. But here in this case it's fine, it's handy. Yeah, nothing much to say about this, to be honest. Just nice, and I like it. Okay, so these 6 can also go somewhere else. I'll just put them here. There we go. Then we have these. These are more trays that are just, they have all the smaller bits and pieces. Like this one has all the essences in there. This one has all the gems in there. This one has the other tokens that you need throughout the game, like the movement and so on, the battle ones. And these ones are tokens that are more specific for scenarios. Also points, apparently. So yeah, they're nicely divided, no problem. Works really easy. Put them on the side, same story, right? No need to talk much more about that. You could say, oh, but there are so many, isn't it fiddly? Not really, because these are just gems. These are just essences. You don't need them all the time. Whenever you need them, you go there, oh, okay, this is mine, that's it. Okay, nothing fiddly about it. Easier than baggies, because that would be more annoying to try to fish it out. Okay, so what else can I show here that's a little bit bigger? Let's do these 3. So we have the Griffin, Lore and Arts, and this, I keep this just in case it ever falls out. But, you know, I really liked it that they added this. They didn't waste space in the manual or whatever, just, you know, keep it simple, very easy to assemble. But it's just a minor thing. Lore and Art, I went through this during the unboxing. It is cool. Also, if you want to paint, you can see some of the images that might give you some ideas. It's a nice story, you know, it gives you an idea. Is it necessary to play? No, of course not. But still, it's a nice touch, right? And like I said, the art is pretty nice, I feel. Alright, so that is the Lore. And then we have the Griffin, which is an add-on. Now, I know some people have asked, is the Griffin really worth it? I think it's nice. I mean, what does the Griffin do? The Griffin allows you to easily transport very quickly from one space to the next, but you need to feed it. You have to give it a treasure. So if you defeat a unit, you can keep the treasure, and then when you want to use it, well, trophy. And if you want to use him, you basically throw the trophy away. Basically, the Griffin eats it, and then it will transport you for X amount of spaces. Now, within 4 hexes, apparently, from its current position. So it does not return to its lair. Alright. I think it does return to its lair at one point. But when... Maybe it doesn't. No, it doesn't look like it does return. So yeah, so when it does come out, it's just easier way to quickly go somewhere else, because you can fly over monsters that otherwise might block you. Okay, so yeah, I think the miniature itself is nice. Is it worth it? Yeah, I mean, it's optional. It's really optional, but it can get you through some of the tougher scrapes if you're in a bad, if you have bad luck draw, and you're kind of like locked in with or just yeah, you're locked in, you can't get out, there's too many monsters, or there's some treasure that you really want to have but you can't reach it because of it, you can just take the Griffin, right? Sounds like you're taking a taxi. And also, you know, the Griffin has a spot with all the minis. If you don't have the Griffin, it'll be an empty spot. And I think if you're a completionist like I am, that hurts. You want to be able to put everything in there. Which, of course, leads us to the minis. Now, I like the minis a lot. This is the golem that goes bananas in one of the scenarios. Looks really cool. Nice to move him around, to destroy the places and everything. We have the dragon, which I have not yet played with, I have to say, but I enjoyed painting him. And I'm looking forward to actually fight it, but the details on it are very nice. And then, of course, we have the heroes. Now, do bear in mind that some of them are a bit frail, and with that I mean my daughter played with Kelea, and very soon I had a 2-piece spear because she broke off the tip about halfway here. Luckily, super glue came to the rescue, so you can see you don't really notice it anymore that it was broken. Not really. So the detail on minis I really like. They're nice and big, they're easy to paint, and yeah, you can see it here. I'll just show them to you very quickly. They stand out on when you play with them, especially painted. Do you have to paint them? Not really, because I've only played one game with them painted. So all the other games I played were all unpainted, and they look perfectly fine without it. But of course, if you are a painter, I'm just saying, you will enjoy painting these because they are nice, big, and easy. All right, and then the final one, Skoldur. Okay, I actually typed in Euthia miniatures and found someone on Instagram who painted it before, and I took that person as an inspiration. All right, so I cannot take any claim or whatever to the way they look, because most of them is just copied. All right. Then we have the elementals, and from what I understand, the current Kickstarter or the second printing has these like see-through transparent ones. I'm happy with the way these are. I feel no need to have the transparent ones, even though I guess you could say it's variety, but I think it would clash too much. So I'm happy with these type of them. I'm not going to paint them any differently. They're totally fine the way they are. No problem there. Of course, with the way that the tiles are drawn, that is of course something you could see as a negative with these elementals. That, for example, with the fire elementals, if you're next to them, they will hurt you. They will damage you because of the fire, right? But if you are unlucky and you explore 2 more or whatever, then they can really mess you up before you even have a chance to encounter one of them. So that can be quite the danger at times. But yeah, anyway, elementals in general, I'm very happy about them. When I first got the game, I actually did not get these, and luckily they were nice enough to accommodate me anyway. And I would like to say it's because of the channel, but it's totally not, because back then I had less than 500 followers, so I doubt that was any reason, any motivation for them to help me. I think they're just really nice people. Anyway, so what else? What is next? This is the storage. Storage is really nice for the tiles. Now these are the hero tiles, how you upgrade them, right? They're upgrade tiles. So in the beginning, you don't really need these. You just open it, you take out the tiles for your hero, you put them next to your hero, and then that's it. It goes back in the box. Of course, for storage is nice, but these could just go into a bag, honestly, because the only thing you need is to order them according to the number. So this way they can already be ordered. That's true. That makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, anyway, it looks nice, of course, on the table like this. But these will not stay on the table. You just take them out, put them next to your board, and that's it. Put them back in the box. All right. But we have 3 or 4 more of these. First of all, we have this. These are the 3 locations that you can dig for, where you can dig for treasure. Now the way that I do it is because I don't want to mess around with these tiles. Whenever something has been dug up and you remove it again, I put it on top of the stack face up. So at one point when I reach the bottom of the stack, they'll all be done, and then I shuffle again. All right, I don't shuffle after every game. Same for the armor and everything that we'll see later. I use the same system. Now, because I put it down, they're all a bit screwed. But yeah, put it like this. And this, of course, will be next to the board in all its glory, so you can easily get it, and so on. So some of these are now falling out because I put it down. So I'm just very quickly fixing this and putting it back in. So yeah, I know this is optional. All of it is optional, right? You can just put this in like a dark blind bag, and then you also won't know what you're drawing when you dig for treasure. So this is nice, but by no means is it necessary, you know. If you don't mind working with baggies, then you just do baggies, and then when the game starts, you just put the bag next to the board, right? Because you can get bags fairly easily. You can get them on the BGG store. You can get them on Amazon, whatever. So many bags to find everywhere. Okay, I've spoken enough. Give me enough time to close this up again. Done. And then we have this one. Same idea. This is just for mining. Okay, so the different mining places where you can get stuff. And then here, this is a bit trickier because this is for all the random stuff, where there's not enough to fill whole rows. For example, the health potions are in here. The goods potions, you can see it's really full, filled to the brim. So at the beginning of the game, you're gonna have to go through these and find which ones you need for this scenario. And sometimes there will be quest givers who come out who require tiles from here. So never put it too far. So yeah, of course you could argue that storage for that could have been a bit better, but yeah. Then we have this, and it comes together with the merchant board. You have the 3 locations where you can buy items, and of course you will be putting the tiles here. You're putting them out, and you can see it as well. Maybe, I don't know how well you can see it, but these are darker because they're face up. These are all face down because these were used in my last game. Of course, if you're gonna go for specific achievements, you would shuffle them in again, but normally I don't really care. So that's how that works. Really nice as well. I think it's cool. I think it's a nice way to do that. Otherwise, it'll just be on the side of the board. Yeah. So I said I'd talk about the things that I like and that I don't like. Right? Don't worry. Stuff that I don't like will also be coming. It's not all sunshine. All right. Put this on the side. This board can also vermouth. This is the board to track the rounds. It's kind of okay. Nothing special. Scoreboard as well. It's okay. Also nothing special, but you can see the levels. No need to talk about this very much. And then we have all these. Like, these are special tiles that you use for scenarios. This one as well. Obviously, you can see this is for when the golem goes bananas. So these have different baggies, so you can easily tell them apart. This as well, extra scenarios. So let's go through some of the bags. So this is interesting, this one. And that also comes with this one and with this one. Because these 3 baggies, they have all the quest givers that might come out. So on a tile, there might be a person with a question mark, which of course will be a quest. So for example, this person here, let's take a look at them. There's a fair amount. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But in any given game, you're not going to use all 7. You're just going to remove a couple of them blindly, and then they won't be in the game. All right. And then the other ones will be in the game, and they will have certain missions you have to do and rewards that you get if you manage to do that, and also go to this person and deliver the quest. And there's so many of them that you can encounter. Like for level 3, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for level 3 alone, and there might be more actually. But then that means 5 different tiles with quest givers. So the quests sometimes can't quite add up on the side of the board, and it's another way to get stronger, another way to get certain items that you need, maybe gems you want to slot into your armor, maybe money that you need to buy specific pieces of armor. So I really like how this works. Now, of course, you could say one thing that you don't like about this is a lack of narrative. It's just some guy that tells you, oh, I need this, and no reason why, and no flair, no nothing. That is something that, of course, could be remedied, especially since they have an app. All you have to do is add a little bit of text like, oh, I'm in trouble, I need this because of blah, 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 blah. And it already adds a little bit of narrative. Now, right now, there's no narrative whatsoever. It's like zero. There's no sentences on there. There's nothing. It's just, I need this, get it to me. I'll give you this. Thank you. That's it. All right. So those are the quest givers. Then we have my friends, the silver and the gold cards. Now the silver and the gold cards, those are nice in multiplayer because when you gain them, you're going to use them to try and kill your opponent when they fight a monster. They're not fighting you, they're fighting a monster, you take over the monster, and you get to use your cards to try to sabotage the other player. That is cool. I don't like it as much in solo, because in solo, these cards to you are useless. They're just money. You can exchange them for a little bit of money, not even a lot. And for the NPCs, they're super powerful. Like you get one card, they get one card. Even if you die and you resurrect, they immediately get a card. So they're actually also stronger. So that is one part I'm not crazy about, but luckily I feel the rest of the game makes up for it, so it doesn't bother me all that much. Plus I know it, so I can prepare for it and adjust it and so on to the situation. But yeah, sometimes it does feel, especially in solo, like, oh no, there's like 2 gold cards there. This is gonna be so tough. While it might be the same when you're playing a human opponent, but it's still a little bit different because you know the cards that you have, you'll be able to use against them when your turn comes around. But with solo, that's not the case. So that's not something I'm overly fond of. Then we have the enemies. We have only this set, I guess. Yeah, this is level 1. But of course, in the baggie, you have all the other levels. So level 1, and then moves on to level 2, right? And then we also have level 3. So these are the basic monsters that you'll be fighting throughout the game. Now, just basic, you know, you can see, I like how you can already see what kind of a reward that you're going to get, potentially. And then you actually see the enemy that you're going to fight. So I think that's okay. What I find more intriguing are these ones, and these are the elite monsters, and they also have to do with bounties. So you will know in advance, I think, yeah, you know in advance what you're going to be fighting, but then not only will you know how strong they are and where they are, but then you also need to find them. For example, a fear demon, you have to go to a mine where you then confront them. So then you find the fear demon, and then, for example, this guy, so it'll be this together with this. So you know he's going to be in a mine. So you know how strong he's going to be, and you can prepare for him. Okay, so very important stuff, and cool as well because there's a lot of cards, as you can see here, with bounties, locations, different enemies. Yeah, it really spices up the place as well, because once again, you're only going to have X amount of those every game, and there's a lot of them here already, so it should go for quite a while as well. These are once again tiles for one of the scenarios. Same here, the cards for scenarios, different reasons. These are the solo cards, okay? So in a way, you could say that in solo, there's no dice roller, okay? These cards will take care of the dice to determine what happens. And you could say even if your enemy has 2 gold cards, that might not even be bad because they might not be able to use it. For example, if it's like this, they can't activate a card with this. They need to have the chaos tokens, okay? So there's so many of them as well. So if you shuffle once, it's more than good enough. All right, so we're almost nearing the end of this stuff here. We have some overview cards as well. This card is stuck. So this one here, there's also some cards here for the scenarios, but these, for example, 4 are for the elementals. Okay, once again, tells you what all of them do. I really like that they're all very different. I like that in some cases you have to take risks. For example, here you can get really powerful, but it might hurt you. Same here, especially when you know that the fire elemental already damages you on your way to him or her or it, and then he does damages you even further. But then here, the water elemental, he heals you. So there's many cool stuff to be had. And also, if one person encounters an elemental, everybody else can still go there, but that one person can't go there anymore. The Griffin, once again, explains exactly what you need to do to use it. And then you have these cards to, well, these are more cards for scenarios. And these are the ones that we've been talking about a little bit. These are the cards that you use if you're with 3 or more players, not with 2. With 3 or more players, these will be shuffled, and then one will be revealed. It's like, okay, you, Skull Dude, you're going to fight a monster, and Male Dude will control the monster. So then Male Dude has a chance to kick your butt and get extra points. Okay, it's part of the game, which I like. And I'm looking forward to trying that more with more people. But of course, you know, more people, longer playtime. So you need to be patient, or at least take time for that, to prepare for that. Okay, then I have one more envelope. One more plastic bag. It's getting late here, you know. And these are the reference cards. So first of all, you have Shii's Intervention. So Shii's Intervention is great at mitigating damage and so on, and helping you basically deal with disappointments. Because if the monster rolls really high, you get to activate it. If you roll really high, really low, you can also get to activate it. And then if you save your activations, then you can actually get well, quite powerful stuff. And then here, all these cards are reference cards. Now this looks like, wow, so many, because they're double. Okay, there's 2 sets, as you can see. There's 2 sets of the same. So you just put them in between players so they can reference it, use it. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It stops you from using the rulebook too much, so that's kind of good. But even still, there's some stuff that's of course not in here, so don't put the rulebook away. Okay, I've talked for so long already. It's 44 minutes here that I can see, unedited. So I think I'm about to end it here. The last part here are the tiles, which I really like. Setup is pretty much a breeze. Although I do wish they would have taken 2 bags for this instead of just 1 bag and put them together. But aside from that, you know, the bags are nice, they are sturdy, they work really well. The tiles, really good as well. I like the way they look, I like the arts. It gives me a little bit of a Heroes of Might and Magic feel, even though the gameplay doesn't, but it doesn't matter. There's a lot of variety in the tiles, as in what you can encounter. And I'm just looking for you to show you guys what a quest giver looks like, because those are always quite nice to see. So let's see. Oh, it's not going to be in here. It's probably going to be in here because these are the more basic tiles. So let's see. I'm sure I'll get one very soon. Okay, maybe not as soon as I expected. Come on, guys. Oh, here is the Griffin. So come on, guys, work with me. Literally 0 quest givers. Is it the other bag? Might be the other bag. I thought you knew this game, man. Yeah, but apparently I'm choosing the wrong things, because there's literally 0 quest givers in this bag. Ah, shucks. Really? Not a single one? Not a single one. Well, I'm gonna keep it in. I'm not gonna edit it. I'm gonna live with my shame. Alright, so here then. Here you go. Here's one, the blacksmith. Here's another one. Here's another one. So you can see the fact that they all have the same icon means only a limited amount of them can come out during the game. And I don't know, it's always fun to see, because it gives you a lot more options. Like, do I need to keep these goods Should I hunt for this gem and then go and deliver it, or should I keep the gem and slot it into my armor? Stuff like that. Some of them actually want you to go and kill certain enemies, and you have to go to certain places to, you know, attack those enemies and kill them. So it is a variety as well. It's not just a fetch quest. Some of them want you to take food supplies, bring them somewhere to replenish the strength of the soldiers, whatever, and so on. So Euthia. I just spoke about it for 46 minutes, and I think you know now what I like about it and what I don't like about it. Maybe it was a bit of a rant. I know it's a bit of an original way to talk about a game, what you like, what you don't like, with the individual components instead of just the game spread out. But yeah, I mean, check the gameplay, and if you want, and check the song if you want to have a laugh. But yeah, I really like this game. I can't wait for the expansion, to paint it as well, to just give it a try, play with more people, and those are all very high on my to-do list actually. So I'm gonna keep it here, stop it here, and go to bed most likely. Okay, this is it. I was Joachim, so SMGSLT, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye bye.